Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, dum. All right, we are live. The first thing I'm going to do is share this screen. This is the second time that a live has resulted in just face staring the whole time. um, I believe the last one was a relatively short one, anyways. And the other thing is record. Two things. I just got two things to do every time we start the recording. Here we go. Here we go. So we have at least 5 people that know about this channel. So I'll go ahead and greet all 5 of you now in case you're listening or watching. We are a trading channel. Trading in the sense where it could be short term, medium term, or long term. I'd like to think that we have a. What's up, Iman? I guess you got the message that I'm live here. You can come on and check it. Yeah, I'd like to more think about things as investment, but at the same time, be able to capitalize on potential short term, medium term themes. And so today, what I was pondering was kind of more macro related, thought process, strategy related concepts. And I was able to come up with 10 foundational things that I think it's good to write it down. A lot of times throughout the day, if I'm maybe washing a dish or something, I'll think about something that would have helped me execute a trade more. Or if I notice something, then I'd be able to capitalize on some sort of um, catalyst, push me in that right direction. And I never write them down. So, or I write them down somewhere and it's never to be read again. So to make this a nice round number of 10 and to put it down on paper, I think it's good practice. And I'll probably end up moving this and maybe changing it slightly over the course of the period that this happens. I review it. Let me move this table. We cannot. It's there. So yeah, just kind of go through one at a time. These all are ideas and concepts that are in my head. I didn't take too much time on them. Just put them down on paper. Just kind of committed the thing. Oh, and it's good that we're recording because you can now make a list of the 10 things that I believe are good for any trader to be thinking about, whether it's an investment or it's a trade. So the S&P is programmed to go up. It rebalances with the best 500 companies frequently. And the best 500 companies are always going to be doing well by definition. That's a good place to find different stocks. That's a good place to see where to start. That's a good place to passively invest your money because it's literally programmed to go up as long as the economy is working the way it should, which is we print money and we have goods and services, and those goods and services are being offered for revenue, and there's leadership within these companies that generally make the companies grow. And then these companies get selected and put into this S&P 500. Bitcoin is also programmed for scarcity. And since it's part of the human culture now, the zeitgeist, it's also programmed to go up. Over the course of months, you might see some choppy action, up, down 50%, down 67%, and then up again, which is kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing some sort of range here, this crab market consolidation that we're in. And however, over the course of long enough period, it would have been profitable to be buying Bitcoin. So, is this the bottom? That's the question for us today. It may seem like it. It seems like a bottom on everything. A lot of things are pumping quite high. My stock portfolio is doing very well, and crypto is doing well. I'm playing too much. The 10 plus thousand dollars that I'm able to get out of this market, I'm kind of chopping away at it as the market's going up. My last lesson a couple weeks ago was to bet less, or not bet less, take less stabs. Each stab costs hundreds of dollars. It's better to identify an area and let time run its course over it without jumping in and out too much. I forget about that sometimes. It's very easy to forget. So you got to remind yourself. Um, so we're about even, which sucks because we were able to capitalize on this move up here, and this move down here, this up and down move, kind of had us giving almost all of it back, and it's just silly because what you really need to do is position in an area and then hold on to it when it gives you a favorable zone. You buy, you dollar cost average, and you hold a support level. That's if you believe that there's a trend going, which there clearly is at this point. This is the makings of, I mean, even if this is just a trend that is lasting 2 weeks, it's a trend. Um, we are in a full moon phase, which is coinciding with this bull, and also the last full moon phase was one of the same. So it's very interesting how we are coinciding with these moon phases. Um, the way that I saw it was full is bull, new is boo, and it's actually reverse. However, it's reversing the reversal. And traditionally, when I thought full is bull, it's actually, it works. Like that rhyme works, and then the price action also follows, which is happening. So I kind of want to be aware that at this point, where is this? 14 is about here. Oh, we're about reaching the end of this full moon phase, and we're going to new moon soon. So we'll give it a little bit more time. It's probably ending tonight. So that's interesting. I still believe we're gonna go up into the 80s before coming all the way back down. But what if something like this happens, where we do come up into the 80s, and then off of this full moon cycle, it ends up a little lower than when it started? That is possible. It's very hard to see this going straight, aiming at all-time highs. So I don't believe that's going to happen, just because there's so many people that are willing, so many people who have purchased, that have their money locked up in Bitcoin in the 80s, that they want to either sell at a loss or break even. So that's going to happen a lot. Then there's like macro conditions, and then there's the war stuff. There's like so many things. So the fact that Thursday, which is tomorrow, is going to be the war update, peace talks and whatnot, it might actually coincide with this drag down. Who knows what ends up happening here for tomorrow? All I know is we're doing quite well. Let's take this out. Delete. We're doing quite well on this run up, not just in Bitcoin, but also in the stock market. Doing very, very well. Palantir was tweeted by our president himself. He used the stock ticker symbol, which is bizarre. But yeah, that was our signal to basically go in on this long term. There's certain things that you need to treat investments. There's certain things that you need to treat as trades. For the moment, this is our largest position in our portfolio, and I intend to treat most of it as a trade and then some of it as an investment for the long term. Palantir is run by Peter Thiel, who is somebody that I also follow. He's he's a solid investor, and he's actually CEO of this company. So yeah, we got in pretty good. It was, I guess, by this stop loss area, or it was like on its way down. So maybe here, and being up 7% on a really big position is good. Um, but yeah, this is just like one example of like everything is moving quite smoothly. Uh, the fact that Solana Sol F keeps pinging is interesting. Let's see what's going on here. So if it goes down, then Solana is doing worse than Ethereum. If it goes up, Solana is doing better than Ethereum. We got pinged. I think we got pinged down here, literally at the bottom, and I moved it up, and it looks like Solana is appreciating against Ethereum. So Solana outperform here, or is everything fucked? Well, it looks like Solana is outperforming, and things are indeed not fucked. So let's add this, put it back here. And then I might just add another one and leave that down there. This is a good place for it. If Solana keeps depreciating against Ethereum, we want to know about it. It could be because like Ethereum has a good catalyst and it keeps going up past Solana, or it's like everything's dumping and Solana's dumping faster. That is two scenarios that I can see potentially happening. Otherwise, Solana should be appreciating over Ethereum. It's not going to stay here, right? It's either going to go up and down. And so it's like Solana is doing well. How is the rest of the market? I like to leave myself breadcrumbs, questions, so that it'll get me to think about certain things when we reach areas, whether it's on time or it's on a chart that I'm following. How is OR doing? I wonder how OR is doing. We're currently at 47. That's really good. We were at $32 last week, which was really bad. Really bad. One of our biggest crypto investments at this moment. Let's see what it's up to. We ended up being able to strike into this $52 region, into this big resistance point. It's screaming sell right now. Because it could just literally keep drifting down. I checked our vaults and we have accrued like several, like this many ores over the past week or so. So we could technically pawn off a couple $100 worth of ore here and still maintain our ore stack. This kind of looks down only. I like this push into this liquidity area. It's just, yeah. I mean, we're below it and it's rejecting. It's pretty obvious that it's going to do that. I hate that we lost this support level, but hey, maybe something like this happens. Down and then find support and then push up. We'd like that to happen. I've noticed that Hard Hat Chad has been tweeting more. There's like some special thing that's dropping, maybe even today, because I saw it 2 days ago. But yeah, nonetheless, we're compounding our stake in this and just allowing it to do its thing. All right, so we got here. Oh yeah, we're gonna go and check out the next thing. So yeah, S&P Bitcoin programmed to go up, right? It's a good understanding. It means you can just park your money there and focus on more short-term things, peel off some, and make those plays with that. But you shouldn't really leave your money in cash in that sense. Okay, so number 2, something's always trending in the market. If you identify the theme within a given point, it will give you access to fast returns during that period. And when you do identify it, hit it hard, take the bag, and then reinvest it back into the instruments that are programmed to go up. So that's the second point, and it's a good point because when I first got into crypto in like 2016, late 2016, what I was learning was people would be trading Bitcoin, and then there's like Litecoin, and then after a lot of ICOs were happening, and then Ethereum, they were taking all this money from altcoins, and the golden rule was to put it back into Bitcoin. So it was pretty hard to follow that rule, especially when things really took a dive at the most greediest times. So when you felt the most confident that things were going to go up, that's typically when things would just crash, and then you would end up holding it and not putting it back into Bitcoin because Bitcoin's crashing too, and you just it's just you didn't know where to go with it. And then you wanted to put into USDT, but then USDT had like SEC orders. It was just an awful experience. Rode that cycle several times. But yes, you always want to put the bag into instruments that are programmed to go up. However, not all stocks go up. This is number three. Bearishness has its place in investing. And actually, if you were to blanket short a basket of stocks in any given period, you'd actually be able to make a lot of money doing it. So here's a list of stocks that I had accrued. I've had TradingView for like 7 years now. So I was cleaning my watch list off air, and I noticed that there were a lot of lists where when I reviewed them, they they went they all were down like 85, 90, 95% from the highs in 2021 or 2022 or 2020 even. And oh man, there was like FTX was there. There were a lot of just, different stocks that didn't exist anymore, coins that didn't exist anymore. So I created a list called the reject list. And the ones up top here are the ones that basically don't really go anywhere, or they're like, in PayPal's case, down like 60, 70%. Oh, wow. PayPal did very well recently, huh? What happened here? Why is it? Oh, there you go. Yeah, it has done very well recently. It went down in the 40s. I was thinking about buying it. Forgot about it though. PayPal has had a strategic investment recently, so being able to buy it at IPO lows is huge. Would I buy it up 30% from lows? I'm not sure. Man, I remember trying to thinking about buying it down here just because everything it was so oversold. Um these are like great points during these gap downs. If it also coincides with weakness in the market, that's actually great for call options. You get a call option that's 3 months out, 90 days out or something, and then 10% from where you are. Yeah, you'd be up a lot at this moment. You'd be up $6 plus premium, plus about 20 days of premium on your original option call. So that's really good. Um, so if it comes down to about, let's call this a double bottom on PayPal. If it comes down to about here, I think it's reasonable. Let's kind of do some quick charting here. It probably hit some whites too. Let's see. We're definitely in a white range for PayPal. Oh, okay. We gotta run PayPal. Let's do it over here. UIPL. Yes. So we definitely hit some whites and then bounced straight off of that. PayPal, also a Peter Thiel company. Um, yeah, this is quite good. If we were to chart it for the quick moment, I like this um inverse doji, which is really bearish, right? It is like a failure. It's a swing failure pattern that turned into an inverse doji, and then it was just downhill from there. So we'll start from this area and see how much it could pump before it should inevitably come down for a little bit, and where we would take that. Uh, yeah, 53 is a region where if it does hit it, it's pretty strong, but it actually doesn't necessarily correlate to bullishness because it needs to get out of this box. It needs to kind of come out of this box, right, in order for it to confirm its bullishness. Like that, this can super happen. Um, if it doesn't come out of the box, if it's say we hit this alert and then it doesn't come out of the box, then we can stay in this area for a long, long time. So just thinking about any potential scenario here. If it comes up to this area, fine. If now this might be a little easier to chart too. Let's add that back. This might be easier to chart. If we take this low, I mean, technically, we can't really. We're gonna need to use an extension on this. Boom, boom, boom. All right. How high can we go before it comes back down? This is a 1-to-1, actually, where we're at. It makes sense that it would hit that, but we're reaching pretty close to this area, the 786, which kind of coincides with this gap as well. I My bet is on PayPal hitting this alert here, and if we were to play it, that's still wow, that's still a 7%, which is pretty good. It would have to happen soon because we have some good momentum in the stock market. Um, I see something like this playing out. Honestly, cool. We'd be able to pick some up pretty cheap here because it definitely did hit IPO prices from years ago, years and years and years ago. So IPO price was here, literally at 39. We bounced off of that. Amazing. I mean, it went from let's go from here to there in 9x, and then its peak was during like the GME craze, and been it's been white candles for a while. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense that it goes up here. If to buy long term, I wouldn't mind. It's just I don't know if it's gonna double, triple, quadruple in any meaningful period that I'd want to invest in this thing. Oops. But if it was to come down to here in the 40s, like the 30, 40s, then yeah, that's actually I like that bet for like a forever hold. Anyways, I don't know how we got there. It was just oh yeah, yeah. We're talking about the reject list. So yeah, at any given point, you could be just shorting like a bucket of stocks. If you shorted any of these stocks here, all of them, then you'd be up overall, say like 80% on your money. And that's pretty good. That's that's not bad. And you take the money that you make here and then you buy into stocks that you believe they're going to go up based off of fundamentals, and you just kind of keep doing that. You take this bucket and you go over there. So shorting has its place in investing. And that's because roughly 40% of all stocks have an absolute negative return over their lifetime versus other stocks who've tripled and quadrupled. the median US stock gets a maximum drawdown of 85%. The median, meaning that middle, the average, is median the average? At some point, like Netflix down 85%, Facebook, Meta down 85%, um, Amazon down 85%. Like it just happens. Tesla down 85%. So even the ones that go moonshot, they go down 85%. And only about 16% of those stocks ever see their peak again. That's not terrible. That's like 1 out of 8 stocks. So you need to be able to, when things are going extremely bad, for you to pick those out. And that was a 2022 moment. Like during certain rare occasions, you'll have times where it's just obvious for you to buy. So let's say we believe in PayPal. It was 2022 where everything went to garbage, right? Like regardless of what stock it was, everything went really bad because of real economic concerns, right? So what is this? August 2012. Let's start at January 2022, which was here. Oh my gosh. Like super high up. And then we get to the bottom, which is let's go to December 2022, which is basically where everything bottomed, right? Down 65%. Let's say you believe in PayPal. You would have made 30% and then went lower because PayPal actually sucks. So it sucks for you if you actually ended up wanting to buy PayPal. For me, it was Shopify. I bought Shopify. Can't believe that was 3+ years ago already. But yes, I did buy Shopify down in the 20s, I believe. It's freaking insane how cheap it was. Let's see. 2022. Okay, here, check it. This was January 2022. Where's January? January 2022. And here is December 2022, right? The absolute bottom was in October / November, but let's say you get it down 71%. This is at $32, right? $32. And Shopify is currently sitting at $127, right? You just there's certain times where you just blindly buy. Like I'm not an expert stock picker, but I just like Shopify. Shopify is my stock of choice. And if you were to just like those are great times to be holding for investing because this is insane. This type of up and down swing is insane. It goes up 100%, then it comes down another 40%, then it goes up another 100%, and it goes down another 50%. Like you can hold through all of this if you just kind of had a better, like you deployed as much as you possibly wanted ever for Shopify down here, then you could just hold it until today. And at its peak, you'd be up 5x, and today you're up almost 4x on it. Wow, crazy swings for Shopify, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Wow, I never looked at it like this before. This is incredible. These are incredible trade opportunities. Wow. All right, I'm gonna maybe just put this on to the volatility watch list. Oh yeah, it's in there. I gotta throw it in. I think I have it under main list. Yeah, I have under main, but like really, really, it's great for trades. Like if we look at Reddit, for example, great for trades, super great for trades. This astronomic run up it last year and then puke all the way to the new all-time highs, then puke again, and then where are we going? Maybe like all-time highs, Crazy. Actual nonsense craziness. But yeah, Shopify might also be great for trades, but I'd like to buy and hold that for forever. So another one, like I just randomly throw out another stock ticker. Let's say Tesla, right? Tesla had a huge run already in 2020, going into 2022. It started the year up here, came all the way down, all the way down. Let's give it some slack, right? Because it bottomed up in January. Let's give it some slack. Well, let's say we bought down here at 165 because you know what? I like Tesla. So it's down 57%. Man, from peak to peak, it went down 70%. But it goes down 50%. It goes down another 38%. It goes down another 38%. That's crazy. I mean, let's say you're holding your DCA or whatever, you'd be able to at this moment be up almost like 173%. Also great for trading. This is a great stock for trading, but you're not losing. I think that's the main thing. Is like you could close your eyes and blindly buy anything and you'd be fine. Let's say some random like DraftKings, right? Which has been doing quite poorly recently. I've been pretty bearish on DraftKings, but let's say you bought in the bottom of 2022, which like basically is down 83%, right? Boom, it runs up for over 4x. You'd still be up double here through like the garbage price action. Yeah, I still wouldn't invest in DraftKings these days just because Polymarket exists. But yeah, I think like that, and also Michael Jordan curse. He owns a good stake in DraftKings, and he's just like notoriously bad at gambling. He sold his Charlotte Hornets, his Charlotte Bobcats. They rebranded to the Hornets, and then now they're actually doing decent. They're in the playoffs this year for the first time in I don't know how long. Not since for a long time. I think Chris Paul was the last Charlotte Hornets. Yeah. But yeah, we got Clear here, which I've been really wanting to buy into, but I can't find the way into it. It's just doing pretty well here. It's on its move up. Let's say you bought Clear down here at the bottom in 2022. December 2022 actually was decent priced at that time. Came down 37%, you'd still be up 90% off of it. I don't know if you time this bottom here. I don't know how, but it's only up 3x from there. There's still a lot of room for Clear to do something. We want it to break out of this area here. So I like that. I really like that concept. So we're pretty close to that range. We want to see this thing break out of this cup and handle. But yeah, so that's the second thing. That's the third thing. All stocks are going to, what is this? The average stock has a maximum drawdown of 85% at some point in its life. And that can happen just because of their business operations, but it also is the most opportune to be buying when we are getting some economy contractions, because all stocks are doing that. I like that. That's pretty key here. I want to turn that into a different color, darker color. Okay, we want to be able to so the fourth point here is to be able to identify if it's a trending regime or a range bound, because if it's range bound, then we know we can buy low, sell high, sell a short high, buy back low. And then if we have a bias, oh wow, this is consolidation until the next leg down, then we can have a little bit more leeway on the downside. And then in the reverse, if we think that after this consolidation it's going to be bullish, it's going to trend bullish, then we could be positioned for some upside. But if it's range bound, you have to be able to, just like how we've been recently, you got to be very nimble. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. It's great. Range bound is perfect for bots. It's perfect for emotionless trades because they're predetermined, they're stop losses, and you can really make a lot of money each day chopping back and forth. Whereas a human might think, hey, it's going to keep going up past this price. It might be time. This time is different. But in a range bound market, it's never different. Now, if you can identify that a stock is trending or a sector, an industry is trending, or we're trending as a bull market, like everything is trending either bearish or bullish, then you just close your eyes and you throw your money in there. And that's how it was like last year. All of 2025 was trending. I guess after April, before April and then after April, this big trend, big trend. Where are we at now? Are we at an April moment? I mean, I suppose we just broke all-time highs again, huh? That's very impressive. Um, yeah, I mean, the last time that happened when we broke all-time highs on the weekly, uh, it just continued. We moved another 12% up, which is huge for the S&P. Um, wow, this is quite significant. These drawings kind of look stupid now at this point. We almost hit the second target and then immediately just reversed up. But the week is not done yet. So I would probably be looking for this area for it to come back down to this area over the next 2 days. Tomorrow are the peace talks. So we'll see how that actually pans out. Like, I'm happy if it does, but I'm skeptical. So let's go ahead and see if we close under this pivot. If we close under this pivot, which is a lot of ground to make up over the next 2 days, yeah, that's a good 1.5, 1.3%. A 1% move on a day is a lot already. So we'd have to cover that in 2 days to close the week out below this level. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Nobody knows. At this point, we poked our head out. And this kind of reminds me of what Wolf is doing, where we have this channel and then we're poking our head out. Then we pulled back, even though like the rest of the market was doing so great. It's like it did great. And so it's pulling back now. No concept of why that might be the case. Probably just some crypto volatility stuff. But I like that we're outside this channel. So what I'd like it for it to do, I mean, if there was a chance that this was going to happen, but if not, then maybe it'll do something like this. And then off to the races we go. Up to 27, that would be like another 25%, 30% increase. We'll bank the profits, sell it off, good trade. Yeah, so being able to see if it's trending or if it's some sort of range bound, very key. At this moment, it seems like we're range bound. If we can push out again into all-time highs, wow, I can see that being the next trend up. What will be the industry? It's pretty clear at this moment that the AI bottleneck industry is doing extremely well. Talking about like 6-7x over the course of 3-4 months. It's doing extremely well. Software is probably going to rebound, and we're going to have blowout earnings. Maybe the earnings will result in repricing again, because there's a lot of stocks like Reddit, for example, that's making a lot of money and have $0 balance sheet, which is good. It's not negative. And then their stock price is just beaten up. Like Adobe is another one. But it's possible that we'll get a repeat of what we got last quarter. And then in preparation for some sort of contraction, it gets smacked down, even though we got good earnings. Here's a piece of confluence. Fed Chair Powell steps down in May. Kevin, I think it's Kevin Walsh. Warsh will immediately cut rates. So the thing about the rate cuts, I think leading up to the rate cuts, we will get a boost. which is what we're seeing going into all-time highs. But typically, the first major rate cuts signals um, a pullback. And I wish I can just tell you exactly where it is, but that's only something that I've heard in passing. So, all right. I heard that when Fed changes begins rate cuts, even though it's overall bullish, the stock market pulls back for the first. When you qualify this. All right. What's next? We're going back into these. Okay, so timing is critical for both for dollar cost averaging and seasonality and for short term plays. You should take all these considerations and catalysts in mind. Technical analysis is actually really good because you're going to be able to see if good news is priced in already or if bad news is already priced in. And then if that's really the case, like bad news doesn't result in bad price action, then that's usually a signal. And then you see levels when things are moving too crazy, high or low, whatever, where pullbacks are going to happen and when to exit a position or add to a position. Technical analysis is really good for that. You got to keep your idea sharp by doing things like this, doing analysis, doing like, find something interesting within the trading as or investing hobby, whether it's reading books or talking out loud to yourself, keeping a journal, because that really helps. Keeping a journal and following other people's journals, I think that really helps a lot. Serenity has really helped us a lot on this, on our stock market side of things. It pushed us into the six-figure range. Like we went from like 60 something, low 60s to 100 something plus at this as of today. So being able to get some advice and take that advice is very key to success. It's about 7:30 now, so what I want to do is go out and exercise. It's pretty busy at the gym right now, but I got to eat some food, and then yeah, I definitely need exercise. When I get back, I could probably do some more trading, or at least market research. But yeah, so far so good. We want to. Okay, so this is also key too. We have a whole bunch of watch lists, and really, if I was to stick with 3 or 4 different stocks and 3 or 4 different crypto coins and play those to perfection, like $1 million in, $1.3 million out, $1.3 million in, $3 million out, like, whatever. um, that should be easy enough, right? Um, but it's very natural to want to look at more and more plays. So these daily watch lists that I create are helpful to um, figure out what's actually trending now and what I want for long term. And then you want to be able to rotate out of them because, and even short the ones that have exhausted, because majority of stocks that drop more than 80% never actually go back to their all-time highs. And that's why if I'm starting with Shopify and Hims as my 2 core stocks that I follow and I try to play and invest in over time, then I'll have all these other plays that I'm in and out, whether it's like a thriving industry currently, or I've identified it as a stock that is just volatile up and down. After playing that and making that money, putting it back in and actually maybe going, oh, I was wrong about this stock. It's got great long-term fundamental and it's going to grow. Then we add that to the basket and we continue to put that money in there. Like another industry right now is space. Space industry is good. Um, Software, I think, rebounds. What else is there? There's the AI bottleneck. And what I really like is, and I think we're seeing this happen in real time right now, is the biotech. And biotech is very, I think most of the biotechs actually go to zero, but being able to capitalize on biotech means end of cycle things because things are moving quite a bit. If you look at the biotech sector in general, it's been on a huge incline. And then also like AI helping with research. I think that's a big part of it as well. AI materials bottleneck. These are pretty good. I like these for themes to watch. And we actually have watch lists for that. And we'll look for those watch lists. Um, okay, number 9. Each chart has a personality due to market makers and psychology of whoever's investing in it. If you understand these stocks, then you'd be able to capitalize on all the movements. Like if we look at Tesla, for example, over the course of 5 years, you'd be up like 120%, which is like a little over double your money. It's like 2026, let's say right here, April 2026. You'd be up 58%. um, but in that time, we've seen it come down 72%. So if you bought the bottom, you'd be almost 4x on your money. So being able to understand this chart and how it moves with an upward bias is very key. Like let's say you only decided to buy at its lows, 160%, 190%, 100%, 100%. And then even if you had a down bias, you'd have 40%, 70%, 50%, 50%. A lot less, right? From tail to tail, from head to tail. But still, you kind of get both here. How do you play both sides? I'm not even sure. But as Tesla has shown with its higher lows and its fundamentals continually growing, that it actually is better to play it to the upside than it is to the downside, even though it's worth like $3 trillion or whatever it is. The other one is a crypto that I like to watch. It's actually kind of similar. Um, Super bullish on this. It's got all the makings of a what do you call that? Kingmaker, and we're seeing it push up into highs. But at the same time, man, I actually ended up succumbing to the FUD here. But it went up damn near 6x, and then came down 50%, came down another 60%. Like these swings are actually pretty fun. Now, if you do this with a strong upside bull bias, you'd be able to capitalize. That's a 4x there. That's healthy. That's 80% here, 70% here. Like you really, if you had $5 million to invest, you can basically just play hype to the bull side because I believe that is going to end up hitting, what is this, 86, I believe. There's a chart somewhere floating around for hyperliquid. that I drew out. And if not, then it's definitely on one of the streams. Let's see. It should be generational buy. Yeah, here we go. Is this fractal playing out or what? Look at this. When did I draw this? I guess it was here. Beginning of the month. No way. It was only 2 weeks ago. Really? I guess it was at the bottom at like 36. I said this is a potential opportunity that could have happened. Um, but yeah, look at this fractal play out. I forget exactly. I think I was. This is copied from BNB coin, Binance coin, and we're just kind of seeing this play out very similarly because we're looking at a fundamentally sound blockchain. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's going to go ways of um, it's going to stick around for a long, long time. And let's go for it. Let's go for the 90s. You know, at this point, if it hits 100, you're getting a 2.5x on your money. The goal is just put as much as possible in here and make as much as possible to put more in the meantime. But yeah, we're kind of following through this fractal here. This is cool. Any dips should be for buying. Yeah. Mhm. We're seeing a bottoming pattern on SPX 6900. This is interesting. I would like to see it come up a little higher. If it breaks out, maybe it has a second wind. Man, what the thing is pulled 1000x. It pulled 1000x from the bottoms, which is like here or something. Yeah. All right. So, those were two examples of charts with personalities. If you chart it out, you see the ups, the highs and lows. You can try to nail each of those, and then you could even like short Ethereum, long hype, or short Solana, long Ethereum, for example, and kind of keep it a little bit more closer to risk free. And yeah, if you can identify different assets in that way, then that helps you to really stick to the game plan, which is having a bucket of only a bucket of coins that you look at. Finally, last point here. Number 10, there are hundreds of opportunities that will match your trading style every single week. There are over a dozen generational opportunities each year. And what I call a generational opportunity is if you put enough money behind this opportunity, then you can make a generation's worth of money for that single play. Uh, you just need to have the conviction and the confidence and the execution for that play. So therefore, you don't rush the process. But when you're confident on that move, you have to make your bet, and you have to bet heavy. I think that's a good synopsis of what I strive to be when it comes to trading and investing. So I pulled out a couple of themes here. We have the ability to jump into these different industries and see if these themes are playing out in real time. And then we just got to put some money down in there. At the moment, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It might change after these peace talks in the morning. Um, at this moment, we're pricing in peace. So I think that's going to continue. And Bitcoin is going to hit the 80K. And then whatever happens beyond that, whoever knows. I did say I was going to short it if Bitcoin hits 80K, just like what Dr. Profit's about to do. And we're just going to keep a pulse on the sentiment. The last we said was April 27th. would be where I would see the deadline for a big crash. So at this moment, we haven't crashed. We've gone up. We've actually broke all-time highs on the S&P, which is awesome because that actually does factor into the fall that may come afterwards. So I'm prepared for that scenario. And as I told you about my stock portfolio, fully allocated we've been allocated already. So the market going up has benefited us. If by tomorrow we have a larger move up, I'm going to continue to take profits over the next week. Who knows what's going to happen over weekends? Mondays are typically good days. They've been very frequently. So taking some off the board tomorrow and the next day would be it's a good risk management, but also it'll allow us to capitalize on Monday if it does continue to go up. And hopefully by the end of next week, we'll get out of almost all of our positions, I'm going to say, and then be prepared for some sort of crash. I have opened up like $2,000 worth of Costco puts which is the one that I identified as the thing to short, just because it's priced close to fair market value. There's not a lot of premium on it. So if we do get a reverse course, the expiration's in May, so there's time on it. But if we get a reverse course, we'll be able to capitalize it the most because the idea is that the volatility is going to go up, and then the premium is going to go up with it. So yeah, that's where we're at, and I'm gonna go exercise. After exercise, we'll see. We'll see. Gonna have to eat. Probably gonna do some reading. Hang back for a bit. Gotta make these muscles wake up. A lot of typing and sitting around today. Okay. Great.